Hi again, it's Richard Swartudo with The Paper Eye. Here at the IPI House, we maintain a library of underground work and underground art. Quite a bit of newsprint art that was put out, the East Village Other. An offspring of the East Village Other was the Gothic Blimp Works, which came out in 1969. Now these were concurrent with the Zap comic publications and the underground comic publications that were coming out of the West Coast. A lot of the same artists were involved in the collaboration of putting out these particular newsprint monthly comics that came out in New York City at the time. They're really fragile and they're difficult to find. You really need to do your homework if you get involved in collecting these sort of things. You want to make sure you've got your acid-free sleeves together. Make sure they're nowhere near anything damp. It's newsprint. Make sure you keep them in the dark unless you've got them framed with some museum glass on the wall or something. Now what we've got here is Gothic Blimp Works number 5. On the back of it, we've got another great Mendes piece of art here. Her name's Willy Mendes. Yeah, this was one of the female artists from back in the underground era. And I'm not going to go through this and open up the pages because of the fragility of the paper, but I am going to list for you the artists that were involved in this. I want to do them justice, okay? The artists are what are deserving. These are classic examples of American free speech. And these artists, unable to get published by the commercial publishing industry in the mid-60s, during the Vietnam era, they played an integral role of lighting up society and letting them know what's going on. And in a satirical manner, they exposed the general public, high school students, college students, to some of the truths that were being hidden by the government and by society at large about what was going on in Vietnam in particular. We've got Kim Deitch was the editor on number 5 here, and also the cover art. Trina Robbins, Leslie Carbarga, Ralph T. Reece, George Metzger, J. Lynch, Lee Kleinberg, Albers, Justin Green, Roger Brand, Jim Hands, Ed McCormeck, Bain Rodriguez, John Mad Peck, that's John Mad Peck, Bill Griffith, Willy Mendes, Gothic Blimp Works from 1969, number 5. Thanks for joining us. Today we're continuing our interviews with the famed underground artist, Barbara Willy Mendes. And what I've got for you here is an example of some of the works that she created as an underground comic artist. One of the very, very first female underground comic artists in the United States. Barbara, we know your history. You're from New York City, Brooklyn, art schools and everything out on the East Coast. Can you please explain to us what brought you out to the West Coast?
This is a great question. So this is the hippie era. We're talking 1969. Tim Deitch was a friend of my first husband. I met him. I began to do underground comics. And now you've seen the Gothic Blimp Works. All of a sudden, so the East Village Other makes a color supplement. The Gothic Blimp Works, and I got to be the back cover. And now I'm into underground comics. This was the summer of '60 that everybody moved to San Francisco. Kim and Trina moved there, Spain ended up there, everybody moved there. And so we moved in '69. As I mentioned before, I was privileged to be friends with Kim Deitch, who early got into the underground comics, and because of my contact with him, I began doing art for the Gothic Blimp Works. There were many other covers, and Richard has some of them, which is pretty amazing.
Now, can you show us and explain to us some of these early